Yo, what up? What up? What up? Yeah, man. So we're here live once again. Was goody. I just want to say shout out to all the people who listened to the last video, where I just broke down draft stuff. It wasn't nothing special. I just decided to go live and do it. Same thing here today. Nothing special. I try to get some guests in, but everybody's busy, so it's all good. Next time I might have Mo come through and talk some LA basketball, some LA sports, some Las Vegas sports, since he's now in Vegas and Sin City. Talk a little bit of NHL, some hockey playoffs, which I know nothing about, absolutely nothing. Um, but the today I just want to talk about NBA playoffs. I'm not trying to. Hopefully, this doesn't go past 30 minutes. I'm trying to be quick with this one. I watch the NBA a lot. Postseason basketball is one of my favorite parts of the year right now in May and June, and especially right now with the matchups that we have with the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors, and then like the first time in this whole run that the Golden State Warriors don't have home court advantage, and the Rockets have the home court advantage. Will that lead to an advantage for them? It's exciting. And then you have the other side, the Eastern Conference, the weaker side, where you have LeBron James and the Cavaliers versus the young and up and coming Boston Celtics, the Kyrie Irving less Boston Celtics and Gordon Hayward less Boston Celtics, exceeding all expectations and just simply beating the Sixers, outsmarting the Sixers, out coaching the Sixers. The Celtics, no one expected them to make it this far into the playoffs, but here they are against LeBron James, a young team who's expected to contend in the years to come, and they look good. And how about Terry Rozier? I mean, there's so many good storylines that go around the season this year, and I just want to talk about it. So I was like, I might as well go live. And then, of course, also, I want to talk about a little bit about the Phoenix Suns. How about them going and not that they're a playoff team, but they're local. So I got to talk about them. There has to be a couple Phoenix Suns listeners. But how about them going out and getting Igor Koshkakov? I probably butchered that, but Igor Koshkakov, I'm just calling him Igor. He's the assistant coach for the Utah Jazz. Had a really good run with, I believe, was the Slovenian team. I might be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure. But he actually coached Luka Doncic, who's going to be one of the top picks in this next year's draft. So that's interesting. He knows everything about Luka. So that makes it interesting. And I'll get into, Phoenix Suns and all that stuff later. So let's go with the main topic that I wanted to go through today. It's LeBron or MJ. I've been seeing this conversation come back up again ever since LeBron's hit those game winners against the Raptors, the LeBronto Raptors. This conversation has sparked up again. Where is LeBron the GOAT, or is it MJ? I think no doubt about it, and there's no question about it. If LeBron was able to some way somehow beat the Warriors this year, and that it's an impossible feat, but some way somehow, if he was able to dethrone the Warriors, the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, David West, just probably the best team in the history of the NBA. The best. I don't know if it's the best dynasty, but probably the best team. If he's able to beat them again, well, this time with Kevin Durant, then it's no question about it. he is gonna be he is, when it's all said and done, if he wins and he beats the Warriors one more time in his career, no doubt about it, he is gonna be the GOAT. And there's no argument for it. When it's all said and done, LeBron James will have broken every record that you can think of in the NBA. He would have broken the rebound record. Maybe he'll break it. Karl Malone is the rebound. He has 14,968 rebounds in his career. Right now, LeBron is at around 11,000, I think. He still has, I mean, the mileage. He's still going. He's still playing at a high level, as it's obviously and it's very apparent to every single one of us that I think he'll be able to break that record. Now that's just the rebounding record. There's the career assist totals where right now he's around 10,000. I don't know. See, it's 10,000, and as one of the active players, he's gonna surpass Steve Nash soon. He's gonna surpass Magic Johnson soon, and then he's gonna eventually surpass Jason Kidd. He may get around John Stockton, which is ridiculous. John Stockton has 15,806 assists in his career. The second one was Jason Kidd with 12,091. Dude, John Stockton, man, that's crazy stats for assists. But LeBron James could be estimated to go around that 15,000. I mean, that's ridiculous, dude. LeBron James, a 6'8" or whatever he is, 200 and something pounds, man, who can play any position you want him to play, and he excels at it. So there, when it's all said and done, he could get that record too. Assist, that's a little far out. Definitely will break the total points. Definitely. There's no question about that. He already surpassed Kobe. He already surpassed Michael Jordan. He already surpassed Will Chamberlain. And he's close to surpassing Karl Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is at 38,000. LeBron's currently around 35. He will eventually have passed Karl Malone by a landslide, and he's going to lead that by a landslide. He's probably going to lead that group when it's all said and done. The projections that I'm getting from theringer.com right now is that he probably will, by a landslide, be at 46, 47, maybe between 45 to 50,000 in his career. In his career. That's almost 10,000 more than Kareem is what they're estimating and projecting. He has about a 13% chance to hit that 45,000. And that's crazy. And that's if he stays healthy. Which he's stayed healthy his whole career. I mean, I know that Michael Jordan. Look, I was born in 1995. I don't have no memory of watching Michael Jordan play. Probably when he was in a Wizards jersey and it was his last All-Star game. That's the last game I remember from Jordan. And anybody who's my age and saying that they watched Jordan play, like, that's full of crap. Like, I don't believe you, bro. You did not watch Jordan play. I watched Kobe Bryant with all the battles he had, against the Suns, and Kobe was great. He was a great player, but LeBron is just better. LeBron is better overall. Kobe had that mentality, but LeBron has seemed to pick up on it in his, latter part of his career. As a lot of people would say that LeBron wasn't clutch. Well, I think that narrative is starting to change, and it's changed. It's gone now. We see that LeBron can hit big shots. It took a while for him, but you can trust him with the ball in his hand. He's always going to make the best play every single time. And what I prefer from him now in his career is we were so used to him always dishing it out, making the right play. But he needs to take that shot no matter what now, because that guy, I mean, he got that clutch gene in him, and it's obvious. And right now he's playing at an MVP level. I know probably James Harden will be the MVP this year, but right now you just got to give LeBron credit. He's chasing Jordan. He's literally there. If he were to retire today, he'd be the second. He'd be top two, second best player. Um, but like I said, if he's able to defeat the Warriors this year, there's no question about it. There's no argument to be made. That would have he would have led a Cavaliers team with no other star on it, to be honest. Kevin Love is a good player, but he's not a star. He's a good complementary player. He's a good three. He'd be like your good three, a three player. Right now, LeBron James doesn't have a Scottie Pippen type or no Horace Grant type or anybody like that that MJ had. Dennis, no players like that. So, I mean, to be honest, I never watched Michael Jordan play, so I'm not sure if I can make much, of a. I guess you could say I'm biased, but I'm really not because I never watched Jordan. All I've seen is his YouTube highlights. From the stats. I mean, we all know Jordan went 6 for 6. He won a couple MVPs. A lot of people say he wasn't the best teammate. Doesn't really matter, but a lot of people say he wasn't really fun to play with. And the contrary, a lot of people say LeBron's really fun to play with, and he knows when to take over and when to let his teammates play. So I mean, but Michael Jordan, never watched him play really in my life. Dude was I mean, from his stats, he was ridiculous. I watched a couple games from like the 1993 NBA Finals when he played the Phoenix Suns. Of course, I'm a big Suns fan. I went back and watched those. And the style that he played, he just had that mentality that it's like that Mamba mentality. Him and Kobe Bryant, the same identical type of players. Jordan, of course, did play better defense, which is the argument everybody makes. Not that LeBron can't. It's just I feel like LeBron doesn't put a lot of energy into his defense. If he really wanted to, he would be a lockdown defender. He's made several great defensive plays. Even remember that NBA Finals Game 7 block that he made on Andre Iguodala. One of the greatest moments I've ever witnessed with my own eyes. As far as watching basketball, that was fantastic. That was a great series. That was a great game. But like Michael Jordan had more all NBA defenses, first team awards, defensive player, all that stuff. But when it's all said and done, the longevity that LeBron has given us has been great. I mean, ever since he entered the league as an 18-year-old, all the hype around him, he's never gotten in trouble. He's always done the right things, has invested in the right things, has companies. He's just been he's all the hype that he came into. He's lived and exceeded all the expectations that everybody placed on him as the young king, or whatever they called him, King James back in the day. What I forgot what the article Sports Illustrated was, but yeah, I mean, when I just see people, I can understand the old heads saying, "Nah, man, you never watched MJ. He was on a different level." But there's even some old heads that be like, "Yo, MJ's not really the GOAT." They would say like Wilt Chamberlain's the GOAT, or Kareem was the GOAT, Magic was the GOAT. It wasn't MJ. So I mean, I guess for every generation, there's a player that generation gravitates to. So I mean, our generation, we should embrace LeBron James, because when it's all said and done in 10 years, when he's out and he's retired and we're all old, we're gonna look back and be like, man, that was a great player that we just criticize all the time. Well, I don't criticize him. I have friends that don't criticize him, but there's some people who just don't like him. Like, I know a couple Laker fans who, if LeBron goes to LA, they would be unhappy. Like, what type of fan are you? How dumb can you be? LeBron James is the greatest player in the world right now, and you would not be happy if he went to the LA Lakers to turn that franchise around and put them into contention again. Magic Johnson would kill for that, to have LeBron James on his squad. So, I mean, they're just LeBron haters, Skip Bayless, just the typical LeBron haters who are always going to hate on LeBron no matter what he does. So, I mean, Yeah, that's my argument, sort of. I could have, got more stats. I mean, I know LeBron's lost in finals, and for sure we can't give him a pass on some of those losses, like him losing to the Mavs. That was just a melt a meltdown from him. Just didn't have it, and him losing to the Spurs a couple years after that too. When Kawhi burst out into the scene. It's just, he those are series that, if he could have solidified himself, and boom, he would have. Right now, what is he, 3-5? Maybe, I'm not sure. I think he lost to the. So his first NBA Finals was against the Spurs. He lost, and then he lost to I think, to the Mavs when he went to Miami, and then he lost. He beat he beat the Thunder. He beat, and I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. He beat the Thunder. He beat the Spurs the year after that. So they went back to back. That was the Ray Allen clutch shot. Yep. And then he lost to the Spurs when Kawhi came out. So that's 3 losses. He lost to the Warriors when he went back to Cleveland, and he really didn't. He had Matthew Dellavedova as his Robin. He lost to the Warriors, and then he beat the Warriors the next year, which was a fantastic series, and he was ridiculous in that series. And then he lost the Warriors last year with Kevin Durant. So I mean, he's had, I the ones I'd really give him, like, you shouldn't have lost, was the Mavs series his first year in Miami, and his third year in Miami, or no, his fourth year in Miami, his last year, where they lost to the Spurs, and that was the year Kawhi came. They should have won those 2 series, and they didn't. They just didn't win. So those 2 losses. The other one, I mean, his first finals loss against the Spurs was a sweep. There was no way he was going to win that series with that Cavaliers team. And then the one with the 2 losses against the Warriors, the first one was with Matthew Dellavedova and a bunch of other guys when Kyrie and Kevin Love were hurt, and they went 6 games on that one. He played ridiculous in that series. If you look at those stats, there was no way he was going to win that series. And then the last one from last year, they just simply outclassed. I mean, the Warriors are on a different level. So now, coming up this NBA Finals, is he going to live? Is there a way? I mean, I don't expect LeBron and the Cavs to win. I don't. There's no way. I expect them to beat the Celtics. They need to beat the Celtics. They better beat the Celtics. The argument is that LeBron's always making it to these finals, so we can't discredit. We can't get mad because he's losing in the finals. Just because Jordan didn't make it to. Jordan only made it to the finals 6 times. Of course, he was perfect. He was 6 for 6. But I mean, LeBron just keeps going. I think this is going to be like his 7th or 8th straight final, and we can't discredit him for that. There's a lot of seasons MJ didn't make the finals. Go back and look at the stats. But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on that. Right now, I go MJ over LeBron as far as being the GOAT. If I wanted to start a franchise at both of their primes, who would I start it with? LeBron James. So there you go. If LeBron James beats the Warriors, who this year, LeBron James is the GOAT, and there's no question about. Everybody's gonna be on that, and that every media, every single, a lot of, especially the millennials now, they're all gonna be like, LeBron's the GOAT. So yeah, now let's go into the Western Conference Finals. Dude, this is a series. We all knew this series was coming. We all knew from the beginning of the year when we watched the Rockets and when we watched the Golden State Warriors. We knew this series was up. And this series was this was a series I've been looking forward to. Of course, my good friend Isaac is a big Rockets fan, and I'll probably be watching the game with him. But I think I might root for the Rockets. Now I don't know if that's my pick. Reason why, because something really interesting that comes from this series is that the Suns, you could kind of see why the Suns could kind of be like involved here because both of these coaches came from the Suns organization and that Suns philosophy when it started in 2004 of the high run and gun Suns who were putting up ridiculous offensive numbers, throughout that run that they did from 2004 to 2010. The run and gun Mike D'Antoni style, who's now coaching the Houston Rockets, James Harden and Chris Paul, and then you have the our GM for a couple years, which was Steve Kerr, who now adopts that style over as well. So a Steph Curry type of player who kind of plays like Steve Nash did, and you see that what the Suns were doing back then, they were ahead of their time. As now most of the NBA plays that style, um, and the way the Suns were a little bit ahead of their time is kind of crazy. And we never won a championship, and now we're seeing these top teams in the league, copying what the Suns did back in the day, and getting getting rewarded for it, like the Warriors. The Suns were that type of team back in the day, which is never able to capitalize on a championship. Now, there's a little different between Mike D'Antoni and Steve Kerr because I just believe Steve Kerr emphasizes more defense in his he puts defense. He wants his team to play good defense as well. Mike D'Antoni, not so much. He was always worried about the offense, and I guess he still is about putting up big offensive numbers. As you see, if you're playing that system, you're going to produce big numbers. And just my 2 cents on this series is it's interesting, and it's such a good series. It's just one of those series that you don't know who's going to win. It's so hard to pick. And I believe whoever wins this series is going to win the NBA Finals. I do believe that the Rockets will probably. This is game one is huge for the Rockets. I think they'll pull it out. I think they'll win game one, but I think eventually the Warriors will pull it out in 6 games. So that means Rockets win game one, maybe Warriors 2, 3, and then Rockets win game 4. And I expect the Warriors to win the next 2 games after that. So yeah, the matchups are incredible. You have Chris Paul versus Steph Curry. You have James Harden going up against Klay Thompson. Who's gonna guard Kevin Durant? Is it gonna be PJ Tucker? Is it gonna be Trevor Ariza? There's a lot of interesting matchups in this series, and of course, Draymond Green. He's probably gonna get it under someone's skin. I just see it as an interesting series. One of the best series we've probably had in a while. I just expect the Warriors. The Warriors are too good. I expect Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson to just win. They're gonna win 4 games. It's gonna be competitive, up and down, a lot of scoring, a lot of threes. I can guarantee you that from both sides. James Harden still gonna be MVP no matter what happens in this series. He's had a super good season, and they've been great, but I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning here. I do see them going down, unfortunately. Sorry, Isaac. Maybe I could get Isaac on live to make an argument against me soon. But sorry, bro. I think the Rockets are gonna lose this one, and I'm going with the Warriors in 6 games. Now, for the Eastern Conference Finals, this is interesting because you have LeBron James, of course, going up against the young Celtics, the up-and-coming Celtics. They don't have Kyrie Irving. They don't have Gordon Hayward. They're top players. But the young kids have been stepping up, and they have probably one of the top 5 coaches in the NBA. Brad Stevens is a genius, and I expect him to throw different looks at LeBron James, different double teams, something Toronto was not able to do to LeBron. But I think I do think the Cavs are going to win in 6 games as well. Um, I expect some games to be competitive. I actually expect every game to be competitive in this series. I think Brad Stevens is a really good coach who's going to keep this young team in the series, and they play defense. They have a pretty good point guard in Terry Rozier, even though their best point guard is out. Jason Tatum has been balling, and these guys are 21 years old and they're playing the way they are. Jalen Brown, Aaron Aaron Baines, whatever his name is. Al Horford's been playing great. So I expect the Celtics to come out and play and give them a series. Um, and how I expect LeBron James to do what he does. And the key is, who's going to step up for the Cavs? Is it going to be Kevin Love? Is he going to continue to play like how he played against the Raptors? He had a good series. Is it going to be a different piece? Is it going to be J.R. Smith? Tristan what are they going to do? Tristan Thompson, is he going to come out? Is he going to start at center? Who's going to start? Their lineup is always changing. They're always trying to find some type of rhythm other than LeBron, someone else to step up. Kyle Korver, there's a lot of pieces that need to step up for them and to defeat the Celtics. So I'm going LeBron James and the Cavs in 6 games. The Celtics have had a great run. Next year they'll be even better when they get their 2 star players back, and that's going to be a scary sight. Also for the Sixers and other, the East is going to get interesting in the next couple years. I expect those 2 teams, once LeBron leaves, depending on what LeBron does, the Celtics, the Raptors, depending on what LeBron does, the Cavs, the Sixers, those 4 teams just going at it for the next few years. That's fun. The playoffs have been really fun so far, man. I'm not going to lie. Let's move on to my last topic here, and I'll wrap this up. The Phx Suns. I just want to talk about the Phx Suns for all my local people, all my Suns fan. They did hire Igor Koskakov. I don't know how to say it, but Igor, he's going to be introduced on Monday morning as the Suns' new head coach. They'll be doing a little press conference for him. Igor did coach with the Suns. I do remember him. He did coach back in the Alvin Gentry era. I think he coached in that team that made the playoffs and went to the Western Conference Finals. I believe he was part of that staff. He did a really good job. From what I've read of him, he knows how to develop young players. In Utah, he was credited with developing Donovan Mitchell this year, bringing him up, developing some like Rudy Gobert. He led the Slovenian team, I believe, to a championship, and something they haven't done in forever, and they hadn't qualified or anything. And that first year that they qualified with him, they went on to win it. I think Goran Dragic was there. Like I said, Luka Doncic. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a top prospect for this next draft, where the Suns are expected to have a high pick unless we get robbed once again by the NBA. Okay, if the Suns don't have the top pick this season, I'm done. The NBA hates the Suns so much that we've never had a top pick in our whole existence that we've been in the NBA. We've never had the top pick. There was one point in like way before I was born, 1968 or something like that, where the Suns and the Bucks were tied for that pick, and they did a coin flip, and we lost the coin flip. They gave it to the Bucks, and guess who the Bucks got? That pick was for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Al-Lucindo or something like that was his name before. And we missed out on him. So that's just bad. And then the last couple of years, we've dropped every single time down in the lottery. I don't think the NBA might have something against the Suns, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm going to be heated if we don't get that top pick this year. This draft class, I mean, I guess having the second pick not that bad. If we go below 3, I'm gonna be mad. Like there's something going on. We've definitely got to have a top 3 pick, and I think when I look at the draft class this year and the coach we just hired, I think uh, the rumor out there right now is that the Suns really like Doncic. Now, that might be a reason why they might have hired Igor. Um, and then there's another rumor that came out the last couple of days that the Suns are planning to offer Clint Capella a max contract. The center from the Rockets. Check him out if you've never seen him play. He's going to be playing in the Western Conference Finals, and Clint Capella is expected to get paid a lot. So what? I mean, what do the Suns do? I believe the NBA draft comes before free agency. So what's their plan? They've got to have a plan here because you've got a talent like DeAndre Ayton out there from Arizona, from U of A, who is a freak of nature. Like this guy is, it could be easily the next Shaq with a jump shot and with a post up game, like a crazy post up game. He has potential to be great and to be a Hall of Famer. He's kind of like one of those like freaks, like Porzingis and like what is his name, Antetokounmpo, whatever his name is. He's like one of those type of players who's just like they're freaky, like you've never seen anything like that. Do you go and get that guy who can play the center and you can put him along Devin Booker and Josh Jackson and you can, man, once those guys develop, you can do some damage when the Warriors are done doing damage, which is expecting like 2025, let's say. That's 7 years from now. That's not that long. Keep it, trust the process, Phoenix fans, the timeline, whatever we call it. But you have those three core pieces, and man, you can be looking at some, what the Sixers are doing now. You can be Phoenix, be ready because that might happen with us in 3-4 more years. So I mean, or do you go with Luka, who's not the popular pick, but he could be a really good player as well. He can play the point. He's a long guy. He's kind of, maybe not as big as Ben Simmons is, but like about 6'6", can play the two guard, can play the one. He can play point. Has really good passing. He excels in the pick and roll, they say. And this is all off the top of the dome that I've been hearing. I'm not reading anything right now. Luka in that system with Igor, who says that they're going to run. They want to run. They want to be a fast-paced type of team with Devin Booker and Josh Jackson, who's just crazy athletic. Now, this is my thing. If the Suns can guarantee that we're going to get Clint Capella, I have no problem with them taking Luka Doncic if they have the first pick. But if they can't guarantee me that, if there's no guarantee that the Rockets won't match the offer, I think we should go DeAndre Ayton. There's no question about it. DeAndre Ayton. I think DeAndre Ayton is going to be a game changer. I mean, do you take that chance? Because I believe the draft is before free agency, and that's the question the Suns need to figure out is, do they want to take a chance on, if they draft Doncic and they don't get Clint Capella, it's a failure. I think it's a failure to pass up on DeAndre. And of course, if we fall in the draft, if we fall to like the second pick and we don't have the option to pick the best player available for the draft, and Luka falls to us, then that's totally fine with me. Luka fell. There's nothing we could do. But if we have the first pick and we pass up on Ayton, I'm gonna have some issues, man. Especially if there's no guarantee that we're gonna get Clint Capella. But I trust Ryan McDonough. He's made great picks. TJ Warren has developed into a really good scorer for the Suns. I think he averaged 18 points a game last year. Of course, the pick of Devin Booker. It's just those picks he got around like the 12th to 15th pick towards the end of the lottery. Those top picks need to develop. Like the Dragon Bender, the Marquise Chris. We've seen really good glimpse of Marquise Chris at the end of the year last year. He was playing. He was 15 points a game. He was getting like about 8 or 9 rebounds. He finally picked it up. Josh Jackson played good the whole second half of the season. Josh Jackson played really well. I think he was up there in like the 20 points. So you see the team starting to develop, and this is probably the last piece that we need is this draft pick here, and we need to hit a home run, and maybe with that free agency signing, and that's it. No more tanking, and take this thing to the next level. I mean, next year I don't expect as a Suns fan for us to go to no playoffs, but I do expect for the team to improve and move on. Improve maybe what we win like at least 35, 30 games. Next year it's nothing special, but it's an improvement for the young kids. So, when basketball is doing good in the Valley, it's good for the NBA. Trust me. And it's good for the city because there's nothing better than playoff basketball, especially Suns playoff basketball. I can't I can't handle myself when the when the Suns are in the playoffs. It's been a while. It's been 10 years and well, no, it's been 8 years, but it's probably going to be 10 years. I don't expect us to make the playoffs till maybe 2020, 2021. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on the Suns. Devin Booker's a great player, and we just got to keep, trying to bring some pieces in and start competing and getting some wins under Devin Booker. Get him, into an All-Star game because, in order to be in the All-Star game, you need to, at least, have a good reputation and win a couple games. So yeah, that's gonna do it here. For my little live video. I am in. I enjoy doing these. Maybe I'll pop up here and there. I don't know how often I'll continue doing them, but I'll try to do them maybe weekly if I can. I have a busy schedule. Look out. I may be doing like some fantasy football stuff here live. And if you're really interested in fantasy football, hit me up. I'm always down to talk about fantasy football, sports, whatever it is, especially fantasy football though, because I'm a freak when it comes to that. I'm all into fantasy football. We have a few leagues. If you're interested in signing up for one of my leagues, there might be a wait list, but we can get you on the wait list and ready to go. So that's going to do it for me. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.